What's going on here? Hello. I'm trying to do multiple lives here, so it's a little bit of a hello. Good evening, wherever you are. Joining from. Let me see what's going on here. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Pin your goal. Name. What is it? Hello. I'm so sorry. I can't do 3 lives. I can't see everything, but I'll try to switch. Let me move this a little bit so I can see YouTube a little bit. Okay, let me just start. I was gonna go, hello, autism, super brain yoga. Hello, hi. Hello everyone. Hello, thanks for joining me. You know what? Let me go get a drink. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to talk about. Ooh, what's happening with my hair? I wanted to talk about today about women, mainly women who watch me a lot on TikTok, especially, but also on YouTube. You all know I talk about women, sexuality. I talk about relationships. Well, that's what I started with, actually. I started talking about relationships, dating. And now I talk about women igniting their sexuality, women being more comfortable with their sexuality, women having high standards for dating and getting into relationships, especially if you're the type of woman that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to a woman who is very religious. Let me just start with that. If you're very religious, you probably will not connect. You probably will not connect with what I'm saying, but you could. I'm talking to women who know that they have strong primal energy in them, strong primal sexual energy. And I'm going to get into how you can know that. And you probably have known that, but maybe you were scared to say it, or maybe you had an inkling, or you were not really sure. but it's always been you. You know, not every woman has this, but some women do. So your way of being has always been different too. And the way you date, you cannot date like other women, and you cannot have um, goals like other women, because you first of all, you're not the same. You know, your values. Okay, let me say it like this. If you're a Lilith woman and you have strong primal sexual energies in you, in your body, and you've always had this, you most likely have had experiences, strong sexual experiences, um, since you were young and throughout your teenage years, and even when as an adult. And some of these could have been traumatic, some of these could have been enlightening, but there may have been one or two experiences that were a really defining experience in your life. And you were born into a time where we now live in the patriarchy. And the patriarchy, like I keep saying, the patriarchy is doesn't gel very well with women who are sexual, women who are naturally sexual. As a matter of fact, they've tried very hard to suppress it, because, like I keep saying, your sexual energy is potent. It's a creative energy. It creates. Your sexual energy is where your sacral energy is what you create with as a woman. It's what makes you creative. It's what makes you speak out. Creation starts with speaking. You know, when you utter something. When you say, "I desire um, um, to live in a mansion," that's how it starts. You start with speaking. If you cannot speak about your desires, which a lot of women have issues with, they don't know that they have. A lot of women don't know that they have these issues. You talk about your desires, but you talk about desires that society told you that that's what you should want. You don't talk about the real desires that you really want, that maybe you're scared to utter. When your sexuality has been tampered with and it has been suppressed, which a lot of us have a lot of women have, well, not a lot of women, many women have undergone that, because we live in the patriarchy. You will have difficulty speaking out your desires and being emphatic about them, which also affects your creative powers, your creation powers. It also affects your ability to speak up during sex, to ask for what you want. That's also another part of creation. You know, during sex, you're supposed to. First of all, your reason for having sex is pleasure. So if you cannot say to your man that this is what I want, this is how I want it, then it's like you're just there. It's like you're just there, you're just going through the motions. You know, he's gonna get what he wants, but you are never gonna get what you want. And most women have issues with this. Married women, being married for years and years and years, never been able to speak up about exactly what they want, because they're scared of being called a whore, scared of being called a prostitute, having issues with their sexuality, having issues with issues that have to do with their sex organs. All of that is related to that. Okay, so where do I take this now? Let me just go with it. So if you've been a woman who's always had, since you were young, you could see that men were attracted to you, sexually attracted to you, very young. And this will slightly go into perversion, because it is what it is. It is perversion when that's what we call it. When a grown man wants a young child, that's what we call it. But if you have been a woman that has been had strong sexual, has noticed or has had experiences where men have been sexually attracted to you since we are very young, you're most likely a Lilith woman. You're most likely a woman who has strong sexual powers, and men that are attracted to you, they're attracted to you in that way. And as you grew up, even as you grew up, when you get into relationships, certain relationships, men get obsessed with you. And sometimes the obsession can actually turn violent, because that's the range of obsession. That's, it starts with that. It starts with, getting obsessed with you, and then it goes into being possessive and violence. If you've had experiences like that, more than one, when you're in a relationship, you're most likely also another a Lilith woman. You have strong sexual powers, and men can sense that, and they are trying to open a portal in you, the portal that is dormant in you, and that's why this has been happening to you. If you've had an experience since you were young or a teenager, a very defining experience that was related to your sexuality. Oh, thank you, Keisha. If you've had if you've had a very defining experience that was related to your sexuality, anything related to your sexuality, whether it's rape or being touched, being, I don't know, called a whore, whatever, but a strong defining experience. Like, let's say for me, I'll give an example about my experience. When I was 15 years old, I was taken to be circumcised with my sisters. But I don't know whether you know what circumcision is. I think the more general term now is called female genital mutilation. And so that was a very defining point in my life. It had to do with my sexuality. I was a bit confused. Well, I was not a bit confused. I was a lot confused, because I was 15. I just started seeing my period. And then I went through this experience. But it became a defining point in my life, because I went on to work in an organization when I was in my 20s that was, the aim of that organization was to fight against female genital mutilation in Africa and in other parts of the world. And I traveled around in Africa and also in Europe while I was in the Gambia. And it's always been it always takes me back to sexuality. And you see, I never thought I was going to be doing this. I never thought I was going to be talking about sexuality. if like 15, even 10 years ago, if someone told me that you'll be talking about sexuality on the internet, I'll be like, that will never happen. I'll be like, you're lying. That will never happen. But my life has always taken me back to sexuality, to talking about it, to teaching about it, to being interested in it. And even when I was in school, in high school, I remember I was very good at health science, and, studying the reproductive organs. I was very interested in it. So if you have a similar story like mine, it doesn't have to be female genital mutilation or female circumcision. It could be something else. That was a defining point in your life, because it went on to make you to build a career or talk about it or whatever, or it stayed with you for a long time. You're most likely a Lilith woman, and it's related to sexuality. I'm not talking about other things, but specifically sexuality. Sex and sexuality. So you're most likely a Lilith woman. The way you move, this is when we go into the body, your body movements have always been sexual. Even when you walk, you take your time walking, or it's kind of like tantalizing, or like, it's not that you're doing it on purpose or anything. It's just that's how you are, that's how you're made. You either walk very slowly and carefully, or you move in a way that attracts attention. It attracts sexual attention to you. And you've always been like that, even if you didn't know about it. You've always, don't share if you're not comfortable. A friend of mine experienced it. Did they do it? Did they do what? Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves? Are you asking me a question? Did they do it? Don't share if you're not comfortable. A friend of mine. Are you asking me? Who's this? Mwasi Kitoko. You can oh, you're asking me whether they did it. Yeah, I just said they did it. I underwent female genital mutilation, the female circumcision. Yes. I just said that when I was 15 years old. Yeah. I'm very comfortable sharing it. I'm supposed to be teaching about this. And I know some girls run. Yes, they run, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to run because they take you out of the town. They take you out. It's not done in the city. It's not done in your house. They take you out of the town. They take you somewhere where it's quiet. So you can run, yeah, but in the Gambia it's now abolished. But when I was young, it wasn't abolished. It was still very. It was still very. It was not like a normal thing, but it was happening, And I know it still happens in some countries. But see, all of this going to suppress the feminine sexuality, mutilating the clitoris of the woman, mutilating the clitoris of the woman, mutilating her vagina, all of this is placed in context in the patriarchy. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so body movements. What was I talking about? If you've always your body movements have been tantalizing, and men get attracted to you in that way, or with the way you dance. It's about movement, your body movement. You're probably a Lilith woman. Let me see, what else do I have? You have I'm going to say this, I don't know whether you guys, let me just say it. Because you have strong sexual powers, you have strong, potent, primal sexual powers. Your sexual powers come with powers. You heal men when you have sex with them. In the way that, I'm not talking about, okay, well, they're sick and then you get, but even though that may happen, but in the way that you activate something in them, afterwards they are excited to go and work, to make money. They are like, they feel strong, they feel inspired. You may not even notice. You may not even know that you have this power in you. You may be very oblivious to it. You may just see them acting in a certain way after you have sex with them, or after you have sex with them, or if you're in a relationship with them. But you may not know. You may not know that that's part of your power, because your sexual power has healing. It has. That's where the bulk of your power is. Your bulk of creation powers are. But it could also be that you know about it, but you hide it. You hide your body's intelligence. You hide your sexual intelligence, by covering up, or not wanting to wear clothes that show your body off, not wanting to not wanting to show, it's mainly that, not wanting to wear clothes that show your body off, not wanting to engage in anything that exposes your body's intelligence, so that could also be something that you've been doing. All right, let me take a break. They have nothing, suddenly thrive, but they're extremely controlling and abusive. Yeah, because it's because they become obsessed. They become obsessed over you. They don't even know why they're obsessed. Like I keep saying, it's because you have strong sexual potent powers, and that's what draws them to you. And also, because you have that, and because you have this power, you're probably good at sex. You're very good at sex, and that's also part of the reason why the men get obsessed over you, or you are preoccupied is not the word. The word is you are interested in it. You make an effort with it. You make an effort with your sexual experiences. You don't just like say, okay, I'm going to have sex today, or even if it's spontaneous or not, but you make an effort with it. That's what I mean. That's also part of your Lilith powers. And therefore you have high standards for sex, because sex to you is not, it's not just something that you do. It's part of your how would I put this? It's part of your it's part of your blueprint. It's part of your blueprint in this world, at this time. Okay. So yeah, so because you have high standards for sex, you don't just you're not just quiet, when you have sex. You ask for what you want the way you want it, you know. And this is why I think I made well, I don't think I made one video where I was telling women that if you're having sex with a guy and you're just quiet, and you just going through the motions, it's like, why are you there? What's your purpose there? Why, if you're not going to be sexually satisfied, why are you just there then? Because you should be about your sexual satisfaction. It should be important. And I do understand the shame that, which is one of the main reasons why. But as a Lilith woman, it's harder. It's harder on us because our sexuality is linked to even the way we thrive. If you look back in your life, you would find out that you thrive in the area of sexuality, whether it's teaching it, talking about it, I don't know, maybe guiding kids about it, teaching it in one way or the other, or maybe writing books about it, writing poems about it, um, working in a sex industry. And I don't mean just being like a prostitute that gets paid. I'm even talking about online, like on OnlyFans, Findom, things like that, and you enjoy it. Because your sexuality is linked to how you thrive in this world, and that's that's a difficult, challenging thing for a woman who lives in the patriarchy. But we manage, um, yeah, and the women who know of this power, they understand the power of their sexuality, and they don't allow it to be suppressed. They don't get caught up into being afraid of being called a whore. They don't get caught up into being afraid of expressing their sexuality through the way they dress, through what they're interested in, through what they want to do. They don't get caught up in that. And yeah, so if you, all of these things that I said, if you have experience, like let's say 3 or 4 or more of these, then you're definitely a Lilith woman. That means you being your true sexual self is very important to you, or it should be very important to you. You shouldn't, to hide it is like you're hiding your spirit. So during dating and during relationships, it should be something that you are very comfortable expressing. All right, let me take a break. If any one of you has any questions, you can ask me. Venus flame. I'm so sorry. I how are you? I don't actually know if you can see me. I have this tree. Just to the side a little bit. Um, Okay, so the reason why I want to talk about this, I want women who are Lilith women who have strong, potent sexual powers, strong primal powers in them, to begin to understand who they are. To understand that if you are living in this world right now, in this patriarchal age, you cannot move the same way other women move. You cannot just act like you're not sexual. You cannot like just act like, okay, I'm a regular woman. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a niece. So therefore, but this other part of me that is sexual, I'm gonna suppress it. No, it's gonna hurt you, especially if you're this woman. Which country am I based? I'm in the UK. I'm in Edinburgh, in Scotland. What about you? The reason why you need to start allowing this is because if you don't, it leads to overthinking. It leads to searching for perfection, anxiety, and all these other issues that people face. Yours will be linked to this. Your inability to express yourself, your inability to stand up for yourself, your inability to go out and really make a move in the world, to make money, to hi, oh, you're in London, okay, all right, okay, that's great. To your inability to do things that you want in this world, because you're suppressing a part of you that is very, very important to you as a Lilith woman. And because you're supposed to have high standards when it comes to your own truth and your sexuality. And this is why you only date men that are up to your standard. You like I just like if you've been listening to me from the beginning, you should now understand why you cannot give that away. It's not free. It's never been free anyway. But especially for you, your sexuality is so potent. It heals, it regenerates, it rebuilds, it recreates. When you have a sexual relationship with a man, that's what you can do for a man and for yourself. But it has to be activated. You have to activate it. This is why you only date men that are up to your standard, and you don't care about what anybody says. You don't sacrifice that, because that's not it's not going to help you. Um, like I said, you're different. You thrive with your sexuality. You thrive. You it's not just something that you have because just like other women. No, you actually thrive with it. Like people thrive with their brain, with using their brain. Like you become academic. You're academically intelligent. Some people are academically intelligent. Some people are like um, spiritually intelligent. Some people are intelligent in terms of making money. They can sense what business is going to work. They can sense the money game. They're very good at making money. They just have to get into it and they start making money, in whatever way. Some people are born to be lawyers and bankers. Some people, your standards are not too high. What does that even mean? I don't even know. When people say your standards are too high, aren't your standards supposed to be high? We live in a backward world, where that's the most backward thing that I don't really understand. Your standards are supposed to be high. Everyone's standards is supposed to be high. Why should you go for the low-hanging fruit? Why should you go for the man that's mediocre? Why should you want that? Why should anyone even push anyone to want that? You know, No. Don't cater to men who are not up to your standard. There are men that are up to your standard. You just have to open up. You just have to believe that they are, period. There are always men that are exactly what you want. This world is a big wide world. and there are many different kinds of relationships and many different kind of men, so what you want exists. You have to trust that what you want exists, and it exists in 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 troves. It exists in a lot of men. You cannot believe what other people say about, well, if your standards are too high, that means you're not going to get a man. First of all, that's bullshit. Because they don't have the authority to say that. They can't tell you that. They don't know all men. First of all, they don't know what all men want. They don't know how all men are. They don't know what all men value. So no one can tell you that. But you have to stick to your standard, and your standards demand sacrifice. They demand that if let's say, for instance, you have a standard, and then this week, and then next week you abandon your standard because somebody else, another guy came after you, and then you said, oh, okay, let me just abandon my standard and then go with him even though he doesn't meet my standard. Then it's not a standard, because you abandon it. You don't abandon your standards. You stay there even when you don't have evidence that you're gonna meet this man. Even when you don't have any evidence at all, you still have to hold on to your standard and trust and have the faith that you're gonna meet him. That's how everything happens, because you don't know what you're gonna have. But if you don't hold it, if you give up after 1 week, like let's say you go on dates for a week, or let's say even a month, and you don't meet the guy, and then you say, well, I'm not gonna meet this guy, let me just lower my standards. The moment you lower your standards, you're settling, and when you settle, you get even less. So you never settle. You never settle. What you want exists. Trust that what you want exists. You just have to trust and the faith that it exists. And I will meet this guy. I just have to believe it, And that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing that as a Lilith woman, you cannot do that, because that's another thing that I left out. As a Lilith woman, you're most likely a loner. You like to do things by yourself. Well, not as a loner like being by yourself all the time, but you don't mind being by yourself. You actually enjoy it. You know how to entertain yourself. You know how to do things by yourself. That is actually the definition of being a Lilith woman. You know how to go out by yourself. You know how to be secure by yourself without a man, or without being in a relationship. And so when you're in a relationship, it's enjoyable to you, because you're happy and you enjoy being by yourself. So when you're in a relationship, you're not like needy for it. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I was saying something before I forgot. I don't know what I was saying. Something before I read this. Okay. Any questions? Are there women? Some women watching me that watch my stuff. I think I was talking about thriving with sexuality. Yeah, if you thrive with sexuality, if you find out that you're actually a woman who thrives with sexuality, which means that you thrive when you are, let's say, in a relationship and you're having a lot of sex, you feel energized, and you know how to go out and make money, and it changes your life, blah blah blah. Or you're in a relationship with a man who treats you very well, but also sexually, you thrive in that area. Or you are findom. How do you differentiate having high standards and being in your masculine energy? That's different. That's a different thing. When you have high standards, that means let me give an example. Let's say you say you want a man that is like that travels, that knows how to enjoy life, that knows how to, he knows women. He's very sexually on board. He knows how to please women. He he's abundant in the way he lives his life, and that's your standard, you don't settle for somebody who's not like that. You don't settle for a stingy man. You don't settle for, and when I say stingy, I don't just mean stingy in terms of money. I also mean stingy in bed. These selfish men that when they are having sex, they only think of themselves. They don't even think about you. You cannot do that, So that's a standard. That's a standard that you say you have. That, or let's say, let's talk about something else. Let's say you say you want to earn, like, say, I don't know, maybe 3,000 pounds per month. That's a standard, and you're saying that this is what you want to earn, so you don't go below that. Maybe let's say you want a job that pays you like 3,000 pounds per month, but then you apply to a job that they say that they're only going to pay you like 1,000, but you know that you can get a job that pays you 3,000. If you take that job, that means you settled. You abandoned your standard because you know that you can get that job. Just because that other job came first doesn't mean that other job is not coming, the one that you really want. But you have to trust and have faith that that one is coming, But if you abandon it, then it's like you're abandoning what you really want. It's like you're saying, I don't believe that I'm going to get what I say I want. And, so let me just take this thing that I don't really want. Being in your masculine energy is about going out and getting, hustling for things, taking a stand, having authority, speaking out, having authority in that way. Masculine energy is like, it's a fast moving energy that creates things into form. That's what masculine energy is. It's also it can also be aggression, being aggressive. No, I don't just mean aggressive as in being violent, but also aggressively pursuing your goals. That also is masculine energy. Yeah, so all of that is masculine. That's different. That's a different thing. Are you talking about like having high standards and being a let me not put words in your mouth. You tell me exactly what you mean. Yeah, so but that's masculine energy. Masculine energy is like being a go-getter, like going to get, hustling, going to get money, being aggressive in the way you go after things. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay. Hello, Anita. Hello. Hello, sorry, I've been talking, so I wasn't really looking at the questions. I just see some of the questions as I scroll back. Exactly my point. Oh, okay. Hello, Linton. Hello, Linton. Hello, Khadija. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I always say this. I try to say it when I'm doing my live videos. I know I'm talking about a topic that is sensitive. It's sensitive because it's been made sensitive, because we live in the patriarchal age where it's not, it's frowned upon to talk about sexuality and women having sex and masturbation and, talking about women being sexually and women having high standards and, but you can ask me. If you don't want to ask me here, you can ask me, you can send me a DM, because I know that a lot of women are still scared of showing up as a sexual person. I know that a lot of women are still scared of being called a whore, a Jezebel, a gold digger, and all these nonsensical things that they call women, like as if women are not human beings and they're not supposed to be sexual. If you're a sexual being, you're all these other things. Yeah, you're a mother, you're a wife, or a girlfriend, or a daughter, a sister, whatever. But you're also a sexual being. So your sexuality, and that's one of the most potent parts of you. It's like the man has the man's masculine energy and and masculine essence is in terms of being secure, fighting for security. Well, not fighting, but going after security. Going after security, aggressively, going after money and gathering resources. And the woman's that's where the man is like the beast. That's where the man is like more potent. Where the woman is more potent is in her creativity, in her sexual energy, her creativity, her femininity. And femininity doesn't just mean submissiveness, because I know there are men online on the internet talking about submissive and feminine is not it's not the same. When I hear that, I laugh. The feminine is dark. The feminine is dark. The feminine is about chaos, unpredictability. This is why men have been long since calling women like crazy, or they see women as, when they're on their period, that they change, they become a little bit crazy. Like, it's because the feminine is attached to chaos energy, chaos alchemy. That's what the feminine is about. The feminine is pure potential energy. It's dark energy. It's like I said, it's chaotic, unpredictable, unframed. You cannot it's not defined. So one day you're like this, the next day you're like this, and that's where your creativity comes in, because you're not the same all the time. The masculine is different from that. So when people say that feminine is submissive, submission, it can be part of that. Submission is part of that, because you have to submit to the unknown. When you are creation, you have to submit to the unknown. You have to submit to, I want to create this, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have it yet. Okay, but I can have it. I can't, it's not that I don't have it yet. I can't see it yet with my physical eyes. So I'm going to submit to this thing. I'm going to submit to my intuition. I'm going to submit to this unknown thing so that I can have it. And you don't just give up. So submission is part of it. But it's not just submission, because the feminine is chaos. The feminine is chaotic. That's feminine energy. So that's another agenda. That's a completely different thing. What they are talking about when they say a woman should be submissive is that they want a woman to be, they want you to be quiet and just sit there. And this is about what weak men always come up with. They always come up with something. It's like they cannot feel secure in their masculinity if a woman is not what they want her to be. If a woman is not like, if a woman is not quiet and like not doing anything and just sitting there, that masculine energy is not that. Masculine energy is that's actually disrespectful to masculine energy. So that's a different thing. That's a completely different thing. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. For the women that watch me, that watch my videos, what are some of your issues? Mm. Mm. So, hello, John Newton. Hello, Rashidan. Thank you. Queen of Universe. Can you discuss about setting boundaries? I think I have a couple of videos on my when did you figure out my Lilith? When did I figure out my Lilith? I think about 3 years ago or so. I kind of knew about it, but I went deeply into it. Like starting 3 years ago. Khadija, I have some last videos about what is it about? Being the good little girl, perfect little girl. Okay, setting boundaries is about setting. Can you be a little bit more specific? What do you mean? Like, because that's a big topic. What do you mean by setting boundaries? Setting boundaries means like you are, and this is a masculine thing. Setting boundaries means a boundary means like it's almost like a wall. Like you have a wall. A boundary means um, what you will accept and what you will not accept. You are you have like a you have things in your mind or in your that you've discussed that when you're in a relationship, let's say let's give that let's use that as an example. Boundaries means that there are certain things that you will not accept and there are certain things that you will accept. So when a person crosses that boundary, there are consequences that you put in place. Let's say you're in a relationship and with a guy in a romantic relationship, and for you, if a man cheats on you, that's it, that's the end. That's a boundary for you. Like if a man goes and cheats on you with another woman, that's a boundary for you. So when he cheats, there are consequences to that. That's a boundary. uh, uh, let's say something else that could be a boundary. Let me look for something. Let me think of something simpler. Another boundary could be like being in a relationship where bonjour, being in a relationship where your boundary is not having a man shout at you or call you a bitch or whatever. You know, that's a boundary. That's a boundary that you set. And so when your boundary has been broken, there are consequences. You know, you don't just sit there and say, oh well, okay. When I communicate what I want and what I don't want, they say I'm bossy. Okay. How old are you, Khadija? I know a lot of women watch, a lot of young women that watch me. I know you're young and you're still very, very much trying to please everybody, and that's part of it. You know, we all grew up in a society and communities where we are trained and brainwashed to please everybody else around us except us. But as an older woman, and you're gonna get out of this, um, yeah, what you can do, yeah, I'll look at, but all I can do is learn, yeah. You're gonna get out of this at some point. It doesn't matter what they say. Let them say that you're bossy. It's about you. It's about your life. It's if you don't have boundaries in a relationship, then anybody can just do anything. And it's not just about your it's not just about being in a romantic relationship. You also have boundaries in at work. You also have boundaries with your family or with colleagues or even with friends. You know, there's certain things your friends can do to you or say to you. You know, let's say you have a girlfriend and maybe you were dating a guy and then she goes and dates him. You know, that's a boundary. If you don't want to be in a relationship like that, that's a boundary that you set. So if she does that, then you know she's no longer your friend, or you have to address it. That's a boundary. People are always going to say that when you have boundaries, people are going to say you're bossy and you're difficult. That's another thing. Or you want too much, which is all true. But you have to have boundaries. You can't live life without boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, people are going to cross them. Like, I'm telling you, they're going to keep testing you. They're going to keep crossing those boundaries because they know that you're not going to say anything. And a boundary, it starts with saying no. You have to know how to say no. That's also another issue that a lot of women have. You don't know how to say no. You don't know how to say enough. You don't know how to say I'm done. And it goes back to wanting to be liked. It goes back to wanting, if you have a very strong need to be liked, a very strong need to be always the one that does everything for everybody and wants to be liked all the time, you're not going to have strong boundaries. And this, like you said, you're right. You're going to learn. You're going to learn, and one day you're just going to get fed up. Because I was like that. I was the one who always wanted to please people all the time, like almost to the point of being a doormat. At some point. And I changed. I changed. So you also gonna get out of that. So yeah, it doesn't. It's okay. I think that the best time is when you discover your true self and your power. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Once a woman knows her power, it's very difficult for her to go back. And you don't care that much about what people call you. What I'm talking about here, and what I started talking about since last year, talking about sexuality. Like I think I said at the beginning, if someone told me like 10 years ago, you'll be talking about sexuality online, on the internet, talking about masturbation. I've talked about all of that. Talking about, wearing dresses that express your sexuality, talking about me undergoing female genital mutilation. Well, that one I used to talk about because I used to work in an organization that I had to talk about that. But if someone told me this, that this is what you'll be doing, I'll be like, no way in hell, no way. So it takes time. Sometimes it does take time. It doesn't have to. It's just the time we live in. It's the time we live in where it's a little bit challenging for women to talk about their sexuality and express it fully, because a lot of women are afraid of being caught, afraid of being shamed. And because we also shame ourselves. We've shamed our sexuality so much. So hello everyone, Suzanne Sansky. So I've said a lot. The ones that just joined me, I don't know I don't think I can go back. But I was talking about the signs that you are a Lilith woman. And that's at the beginning. It's unfortunate that, okay, on Facebook and on YouTube, the video is going to be there. But on TikTok, the video just seems to disappear. So more about the signs, please. More about the signs. I think I've met, how many did I say? I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are some of the signs that you think you have Mwasi? Mwasi, am I pronouncing your name right? What are some of this? What are some of the things that you may have experienced when you were young? Hello, Jade. Hello, Lubilu. Hello, Yvonne. Is Lilith energy feared? It is feared, yeah, in the patriarchy, yes. It is feared here because her energy, her sexual power is okay. Have you ever seen a woman that's sexual? Like, I mean, I don't mean like having sex, but a woman that's so sexual where when she walks out on the street, with the way she dresses, her entire outfit and the way she dresses and the way she moves, when she walks, it's like she just commands the attention of everybody. Men look at her, they're just, everybody's like turning around to look at her. And even women turn around to look at her. That's what it is. Lilith ascends above masculinity in that way, you know. And I said it in the other video, like the patriarchal energy is not that, it's not highly evolved. And it doesn't like anything that it sees as more powerful than it, or it sees that it makes it vulnerable. It doesn't like it, so it will suppress it. And women, we know this. Women, we know this. Harun Village Valley. I will add. Do you have a question, Harun? So yes, it has been perverted. It has been perverted. It has been shamed. Harun, don't show for 10 minutes. What's this? Fear, obsession. Yeah, all of that could be part of that. But I'm going to the bottom of it. The reason why it's feared, it's because it's feared and perverted and shamed, is because a woman's sexual power can affect men in a way that the patriarchy doesn't like that. It doesn't like that kind of effect it has on men. As a woman, you know that. You know that you don't have to open your mouth. You don't. All you have to do, if you make yourself look attractive and you make yourself look, yeah, and you take care of yourself and you make yourself attractive, you don't have to open your mouth. Just go stand on the street. You don't even have to go stand on the street and see the kind of attention you're gonna get. So it's like it's that sexual energy. That sexual it's primal energy, primal creative energy, primal creation energy. It's fast, very fast moving energy. Um, so yeah, so that's why woman's sexuality is it magnetism? Yeah, it's all of that. Yeah, magnetism. Um, it's a little bit more. It's magnetic, yeah, but it's a little bit more than that. It's raw. It's almost like a raw power that pulls energy towards it. But yeah, magnetism is also there. Hello, Modesty. So, if you are a Lilith woman, shame might have been one of your main issues. Shame, being very ashamed of your sexuality, um, being very aware of it, but also being very, very ashamed of it. Throughout your life, or throughout the majority of your life. That's also another sign. And You have to get out of that. You have to get out of the shame, because there's nothing to be shamed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about your sexuality. There's nothing shameful about it. You your body is not a shameful thing. Your energy is not a shameful thing. Um, your sexuality, your desire to have sex, your desire to enjoy sex, your desire to be with a man who um, is wealthy and generous and has having high standards for a man, and being with a man who not just having high standards in terms of your lifestyle, but also having high standards in terms of what you want sexually. There's nothing to be ashamed about it. Nothing to be nothing to be ashamed about that. That's what you're supposed to want. Is it a powerful act? It is a powerful act. Yeah. Mhm. Can you adopt me, please, so I can learn? You can. Lucky B, can I adopt you, please? You will learn. You will learn. Yeah, I wish I could. Hmm. You will learn. You are from, can you adopt me, please, so I can learn? Okay. I thought I saw Caribbean here. Khadija, like the life. Thank you. Thank you for all of your lives. Um, so yeah, you have to have boundaries. You have to have standards. If you're in a relationship and you don't have boundaries, then it's a problem. Then where do you stop? When do you know when enough is? Even if you're with a nice man that respects you and that treats you very well, you still have to have boundaries. Boundaries are not just like that he's going to disrespect you or whatever. Even with you. And I always say this: it's not just good for a woman to have boundaries. It's both for a man and a woman. A woman needs to know that there's certain things that I cannot do to this man. There's certain things that I cannot say to this man. I can joke with him, we can play, we can do all these things, we can, kiki kaka and all that. But if I say this thing to him, he's gonna flip, he's gonna leave me, or he's gonna exit that relationship. That a woman needs to know that about a man, and that's where a man who respects himself and knows is very much in touch with his masculine energy. That's where his sense of self-respect and his expression in his masculine energy will come out. If a woman does not know where to stop with a man, she will not be able to respect that man, and that relationship is just going to go to shit. There was this video on YouTube I watched one time. There was this lady. She was married, but I think she was still. I don't know whether she was still going out with her boyfriend or what. But anyway, her boyfriend called her, and she went out to meet him in his car. They were parked somewhere, but her husband knew that he somehow knew about it, that she had left the house and went to meet the boyfriend. So I think he waited until she left, and then he just jumped out of the house and then followed her. And then as he got to the car, he saw them both in the car. He saw his wife and with the guy in the car. As soon as she saw him, she jumped out of the car and was like, "What are you doing here?" Like the way she was talking to him. "What are you doing here? Why are you following me?" Blah blah. She was like very, very animated and very, very, almost very aggressive. And he was like, "I know you were coming to meet your boyfriend. You were denying this, blah blah." But the way she was talking to him, she was like, "What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You can't do. You're not going to do anything about it." And I immediately knew that this woman doesn't respect this man. She has zero respect for this man. If a woman tells a man that means she has zero respect, because she knows that you're not going to do anything. That's for how she was talking. Like, you're not going to do anything about it anyway. Yeah, of course. Okay, so you met me with my boyfriend in the car. What are you going to do about it? You're not going to do anything. I pay the bills in this house. I paid the phone that you're holding. The way she was talking, it was very clear that she didn't have any respect for that man. Zero respect. So a woman needs to know where to stop with a man. If she doesn't have that, it's not a fear, but it is a knowing that there are certain things that, even if the man doesn't say it, she needs to know that if I say this to this man, he's going to walk. He's not going to take that. And that is a healthy thing, because you have to know where to stop with people. You can't just say anything anyhow, because in a relationship, it's not just about love and, traveling and doing all these things, but it's also about respect, In the same vein, a man also needs to know what he cannot say or do to a woman in a relationship. If a man does not have that boundary and thinks that he can say or do whatever to the woman he is with, then he has zero respect for her. That's like these men that go and cheat over and over and over and over, and they have no respect for the woman that they're with, because the woman doesn't have any boundaries. She doesn't, it's like she's not going to do anything. And the man knows that. He knows that whatever I do to this woman, even if I cheat with her, even if I bring a woman to the house and cheat with her on my wife's bed, she's not going to do anything. She's not going to leave me. So a man also needs to know that he cannot do certain things. This is why a woman that walks away from a relationship is a woman who's willing to walk away from a relationship is a woman who puts her self-respect first. The same way a man also who's willing to walk away from a relationship is willing to put his self-respect first. It's not worth it to him. So yeah, that has to be there. That's what a boundary is. There's certain things that no matter how close you are, there's certain things that that I'm not gonna allow that. If you make a mistake and you say that to me or you do that to me, I'm out. I don't care if we have 10 kids. I'm not having that. This, in the same way, my man also has to have that. If you do certain things to me, like if he that's him saying to me, like if you do certain things to me or you say certain things to me, I'm out. I don't care if we have 10 kids, And I think that's healthy. That's the healthy thing in the relationship. Teachers. What does this mean? TikTok comes up with so many new things every time. I don't actually know. Okay, so, but anyway, we are talking about Lilith woman. Hello, Jukamane. And Kaylee, hello, Kaylee, Jasmine. I am Tibili. Venus, I don't know what you're watching. Okay, so I think I've said a lot actually. I don't really like talking that much. Hope you've been okay. Yes, I've been okay. Thank you so much. I hope you've been okay too. How was your weekend been? Thank you. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you so much. No worries. I've been all right. I'm glad you've been okay. Just wanted to say good night and sleep. But thank you. Yeah, thank you. I know it's a bit. So is it late? Let me see. What time is this? After 8, yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night, you too. Everything will be okay, Mr. Hope. Yes, it will. Of course, it will be okay. Everything will be okay. Much love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everything will be all right. Like Bob Marley says, everything will be okay. Thank you, Mwasi. Okay. I've been on here for like I think an hour, over an hour. Any questions? What is that? Emerging stars points requested for. I'm not understanding this, but anyway, I'll get there. So what have you all been up to? What have you guys been up to? I know it's Tuesday today. Maybe some of you are going to work tomorrow. You have to get up tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. Uh, invite Tammy Thelma to join live as a guest. Okay. I'm gonna invite somebody who's like who watches my videos. I think that's a better thing to do. Let me see. Where do I? The comments. Viewers. Survey. Um. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. I'm gonna start reading tarot. Um. I don't want to read relationship tarot because a lot of people do that. I don't feel like doing that. I know it's gonna be, it's gonna get into that, but I don't want to. I don't want to read relationship. I don't want to read tarot about relationship. I want to read tarot about sexuality, and how that translates into you know job opportunities and business opportunities and other opportunities in life. Um, not So I'm still thinking about how to do it. I have the cards, I have the tarot cards, but I those are not the right ones. I'm actually thinking about creating my own tarot cards. Um, so yeah, um, hello, Bishop. Does anyone have any questions or anything you want to ask? Invite Talia Door 17 as a guest. Call making Beverly Brown. So some of the problems that you may have um, if you have an issue with your sexuality is you're afraid of being touched, afraid of being hugged, afraid of afraid of being touched. That's the main thing with some, but hugging is also a big part of that. um, and even during sex, you don't like being touched, or you don't even like sex, because you've suppressed your sexuality so much, and that's one of the effects of it. You don't like being touched. You feel uncomfortable, or you recoil when somebody touches you. It could also happen because of trauma, but that's all part of it's all part of the sexual suppression. Mm. So if you have issues with that, yeah, that's one of the ways to get over that is like you start touching yourself. You start rolling your hands around your body. Start with what makes you comfortable. Don't just jump into do it with somebody else. You start it with yourself. But you can also do other things like massages. When you get more comfortable, going for massages, anything that involves touch. You know, I'm not talking about sex, even though sex is part of it, but going for a massage, hugging, hugging people. Like when you meet a friend, you say hello by hugging them. Um, Yeah, things like that. The other thing that I've heard some women, well, not some, but many women also have issues with is they're afraid of being looked at, afraid of being admired, afraid of attention, the attention of from men, like, and that's one of the reasons why these women wear clothes that are like maybe dark in color, or wear clothes that cover their body. They don't really show their body. They like they cover their body parts up. Like they wear baggy clothes all the time, or baggy trousers, baggy tops, in an effort to hide your body because you don't want attention. You're scared of it. You're scared of um, that gaze from a man or from men, and even from women, you know, because you don't know it. Like it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's like, what does it mean? Why are they Why are they looking at me? Why are they looking at me like that? Why? What do they want? Like it's like you have this. That's how you process it. You process it as dangerous. You know, you don't know how to just take it all and enjoy it. That's also all part of the sexual suppression. You don't know how to just enjoy the gaze. And being afraid to dance properly also, because dancing movement is also part of being sexual. Dancing, walking, swaying your hips, like walking like a woman actually. you know um a lot of women have this issue. Even I had this at the beginning, because we've been trained to like be so like locked up. We don't walk freely, and we don't realize that we're not even doing that. We don't realize that we're doing that. You're supposed to walk freely, like you're supposed to walk. That's why you have hips. You're supposed to walk with your hips swaying, like walking freely. That's all part of body movement. It's all part of sexuality. um but when your body's locked up, like all like um yeah, constricted, then you cannot walk like that. It's like shameful to you. um So this is also all part of the effects of women not being sexual, of women's sexuality being suppressed. Apart from the other things where you cannot really speak your desires. Um, being numb, another thing. Being numb everywhere. Being numb, like your body being numb, not feeling, not feeling because you're afraid of being touched. Your body is like um it's because it's locked up. You don't really feel things. It's like numb. How else would I say that? Yeah, it's you don't feel that. That's it. It's just that you don't feel, you don't allow yourself to feel the maximum pleasure or the maximum effect of the touch, or the maximum effect of what you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to feel, because you're scared that it's going to turn into arousal, which is what touch is actually. It's arousal. Yeah, your arousal center is like it's dead. It's almost like it's not dead, it's inactive. And that's why it's your body is numb. All of that is like all of these are effects of a woman whose sexuality is suppressed. Okay, I saw some comments here, but I didn't. We still believe in Mr. Hope. GPA. Rigidity. Yes, it can. Yeah, it's. Um, yes, rigidity is also the rigidity is. It's like, yeah, when you're rigid, like you're not fluid in your movement, but and numbness is also numbness can lead to rigidity. Being numb is like yeah, you don't feel, and then yeah, you can become rigid, like you don't feel, so you don't actually enjoy sex. You just like I said in the beginning, you just go through the motions of it. Um, you don't like being touched. You don't. You cut the feeling of feeling good. Like you don't allow yourself to feel good. You don't allow yourself to like dance and move and enjoy yourself. Every time you start, you want to do it, you cut it off. Because you're scared of that. You're scared of that feeling because it's like it's arousal. That's what it is. It arouses you. Arousal doesn't just mean like sexual arousal, but it's also part of sexual arousal. Arousal means like coming alive. Your body coming alive. Your body being like, yeah. So you're scared of that feeling. That's what the numbness does. I love dancing. Oh my god. But with the social media sites, I can't put music. If I could put music on, but then you're gonna take. I've been warned several times by YouTube. I think if I don't stop, I'm gonna have a strike, and I don't want that. But I love music. I love dancing. Oh my god, I love dancing. I love music so much. Music is one of my best loves. You Um, okay, I think that's that. I think I've said enough. I think I'm just fishing for stuff now. Maybe I should. I see sometimes people talk about the same thing over and over and over again, and I guess it makes their viewers they come to expect what they talk about, and so they know what to ask and what not to ask. I just come up with random topics, even though it's all related to the one thing, but it's like I don't really tell my viewers when I'm coming online. So, and I know because of the topic that I'm talking about, sometimes it's difficult to ask questions. I understand that, but the more you guys engage with me, the more I know what to talk about, the more I know which direction to go, and what to focus on. Yeah. Hello, Lady Desire. Okay, well, I think I've been here long enough. Thank you so much, every one of you that joined me on this live. Thank you, Khadija. Thank you for all of your questions and your contributions. Thank you. What's her name again? Tibili. They left. They went to bed. And Mwasi. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you. Thank all of you for joining me. I've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. Even TikTok is telling me to take a break now. All right, okay. I think I'm gonna get off now. I'm also going to go to bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Okay. Bye bye. Have a great night. Bye. Okay. So how do I turn this off? Yeah. Let me turn Facebook off and then go to YouTube. End stream.